Yeah, so myself and really good pal of mine, Reese, went and surfed at Rest Bay earlier. Um, and it was one of the best surfs I've had in many years. I mean, it was kind of like lost my mojo a little bit with surfing over the last year or so. I mean, the pandemic hasn't helped. But sometimes you need something, I suppose, to give you that mojo back. Um, Whatever it is that got you into it in the first place, just to remind yourself of what it was. And today was that. I mean, we had crystal clear 2 to 3 foot waves for 3 hours. At the beginning of the surf, we were surfing with a seal. So there was a seal around about 20-25 yards away from us. But if you've seen a seal in the water that close up, you'll know that they can cover 20 to 25 yards within the space of around about 2 seconds. They are frighteningly quick swimmers, considering the size on them. But you're never kind of like threatened. I've been in the sea with them before. It was a real honour and a privilege. But what I thought I'd do is, and as you can see, we've got a perfect evening as well. I mean, the day was beautiful, the moon in the sky, nice heat source, which is always good in these situations. The other thing that one needs is, I'll try and set the camera up in front of me here, and it's a beer that I'm going to talk about. This beer came with a case that I ordered from Flavorly. I had an email through, and it was like 29 quid a case of, I think, 20 beers, 22, 24 beers or something. And this beer is really unusual. It's as the strobe light goes on, it's called Monument Valley, and it's a Tangerine Pale Ale. It's a collaboration with Flavorly. I do very much like pale ales, IPAs. The explosion of them over the last year or so, a year or two, has just been manna from heaven for me. It's my favourite drink. They're usually citrusy, but actually throwing your hat in the ring and doing one that's called a Tangerine Pale, Lord knows what we're going to get. It's 4%. It's brewed and canned in London, inspired by adventure. Well, my day's been all about that, so why not? And then there's a bit of blurb, which I won't bore you with. Ingredients: water, barley, hops, citrus fruit, and yeast. Citrus fruit, well, if it's tangerine pale, are they just tangerines, or do they use something else? Anyway, who knows? Look, I'm no expert, I just like a beer, and I like talking about beer. But with the pandemic, there's been very few people around to talk to it about. So if you're kind of bored enough to be watching this, then I'm talking to you, and that's good enough for me. So let's get this into a glass and see what it presents us with. I won't give it a too quick a pour. With the way that the fire is lighted it up, it does actually look very much like a tangerine colour. Is it worth chucking that in there for you so you can see the artwork? Yeah, so the artwork is a nice sunny can, isn't it? Reminds you of hotter days than what we're experiencing. It's around about 5 degrees at the moment out here and dropping. And bear in mind we're about 7 o'clock. If I can find my torch, I'll shine a torch through it just to see whether it's cloudy. Right, it's a bit hazy. There's a nice soft carbonation to it. It's got, you'll be able to make that out there, nice head on it. It's like a 330ml can. it does smell of tangerines. That kind of like tangerine smell is much more subtle than an orange, isn't it? Smells of tangerines. I wonder how much it tastes of them. Bottoms up, guys. Cheers. I wasn't sold on the idea of a tangerine ale, but it's changed my mind. It's really nice. It's got a very bitter kind of like aftertaste, but I like that. Not like a metallic bitter taste, the citrus bitter taste as you'd expect. And it is incredibly refreshing. It's a lovely drink. Not bad. Not bad at all. That was my first YouTube beer review. So let's see if it gets more than one view within the next 10 years that isn't my missus. Cheers.